Hey there, if you're watching this video, you're probably in the same boat I was a few years ago, trying to figure out where to raise my family in the Denver area. Or maybe you're tired of apartment living or want a better school for your kids. Or you just need more space and yard where your dog can actually run around. I'm going to share everything I've learned about Denver's best family suburbs, not just the pretty marketing stuff, but what it's really like to live in these places day to day. Because let's be honest, choosing where you raise your family is one of the biggest decisions that you're ever going to make, and you deserve the whole truth. So here's what we're going to cover today. I've researched 7 suburbs that consistently come up as the best for families, and I'm going to take you on a virtual tour of each one. We're going to talk about what your morning routine might look like, where you're going to get your groceries, what your kids will do after school, and what it's all going to cost you. I'll also share some insights about the housing market that might surprise you. Spoiler alert, it's actually a pretty darn good time to be a buyer right now. And we'll also dive into schools because I know you want the best for your little ones. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear picture of which suburb might be the perfect fit for you and your family's lifestyle and, of course, budget. Now let me start with some good news. The Denver housing market has cooled down significantly from the pre-pandemic craziness. Home prices are still high-ish. I guess we're talking about a median price of $625,000 in Denver proper, but they're not climbing like they used to. In fact, prices have dipped slightly over the past year, and experts predict that they will continue to soften. Now, what this means for you is more time to make your decision, more negotiating power, and homes that actually stay on the market long enough for you to think about it. We're seeing homes at right about the 25 days on the market instead of getting snatched up in a weekend. The suburbs I'm going to show you are going to range in price from about $500,000 in Thornton all the way up to $700 plus in places like King Carroll. But remember, the sticker price is just the beginning. There are going to be ongoing costs like property taxes, HOA fees, and something called, in some areas, a metro tax district that can add a few $100s to your monthly payment. But before we dive into the money stuff, let me tell you about what life looks like right here in these communities, because that's when you really get a feel for what these places are like. And you can easily picture this. It's Sunday morning, and instead of hearing traffic and sirens, you wake up to the sound of chirping birds. Your kids can ride their bikes to their friend's house without you worrying about busy streets. You can walk to the local coffee shops where the barista is actually going to know your order, and your neighbors actually wave at you when you're getting the mail. In most of these suburbs, you're gonna find yourself at youth soccer games on the weekend, chatting with other parents while your kids play the game. You'll discover locals' farmers markets, community festivals, and those little family-owned restaurants that become your regular spot. Your commute might be a little bit longer than if you're living downtown, but you're gonna have a garage for 2 cars, a yard for your dog, and enough space for your kids to have friends over without driving you crazy. Now, you'll probably find yourself using the light rail more than you would expect because it's actually pretty convenient once you get used to it. What's up, beautiful people? My name is Noah, your Northern Colorado real estate and lifestyle expert. I'm an easy guy to get a hold of. My cell number is gonna pop up right here, 720-741-7474. You can shoot me a text or phone call with questions large or small. And if you want a behind the scenes look at really what life is like, you can go follow me at real.estate.hippie on Instagram, and I'd love to connect. Now let's start out by talking about schools, because I know this is one of your biggest concerns, probably like it was for my wife and I. Now the good news is that all of the suburbs I'm going to recommend have solid to excellent school options. An A-rated school like Cherry Creek or Littleton Public Schools means your kids are going to have access to advanced placement courses, strong college prep programs, and lots of extracurricular activities. These districts have the resources to offer everything from robotics club to theater programs and competitive sports teams. A- school districts like Jefferson County are actually huge, which is a good thing, with 162 schools serving 75,000 5,000 students, there's incredible variety. If your child is interested in something specific, maybe marine biology or automotive technology, there's probably a program for it somewhere in the district. Even the B+ districts like Adams 12 5-star schools are doing great things. They might not have all the bells and whistles as the top-rated districts do, but they're focused on giving every single kid a solid foundation and preparing them for whatever comes next. Now here's some unsolicited advice. Don't just look at the school rating. Call the schools and talk to the principals or the directors of the programs you're interested in. People here are friendly and willing to take time to make sure that you get all of your questions answered. All right, now that we have all that out of the way, let's take a tour of these 7 suburbs. Now I'm going to tell you what it's really like to live in each one. Now let me start off with Littleton, because this is a place that consistently makes families happy. Now when you live in Littleton, you're part of a community that actually cares about being a community. And this is a rare find in a big city. Your kids will go to Littleton Public Schools, which has an A rating and a real focus on arts and education. Now don't be surprised if your kid comes home excited about the school play or the music programs. The district is smaller than some of the others, about 13,700 students across 22 schools, which means that you have more personal attention. On weekends, you're going to find yourself at the historic Main Street area, which feels like something out of a movie, but in the best way. There are locally owned shops where you can actually afford to buy things, restaurants where the owners remember your family, and events throughout the year that bring everyone together. You and your kids are going to have access to over 1,400 acres of parks and over 200 miles of trails. Oh man, you better be in shape. And Chatfield Reservoir is a perfect place for teaching them how to fish or just having a family picnic. And yes, they really do elect a dog mayor every 2 years. Currently, it is a basset hound named Murdoch. No joke. The commute to downtown Denver is about 30 to 40 minutes, which is going to give you time to listen to your favorite podcast or call your mom. Now, the RTD light rail connects you to downtown, so you can skip the parking hassle when you want to go catch a Rockies game or visit the museum. Home prices here average around $617,000, and you're looking at property taxes and maybe some HOA fees, but nothing too crazy compared to some of the newer developments. Now, next on the list is Arvada, and it is the perfect blend of an established community with modern convenience. You'll live in a neighborhood with mature trees and sidewalks where people actually walk, but you also have access to the brand new amenities. And one of them is the Apex Center, which is like having, I would say, a resort membership included with your home. Now we're talking about ice skating rinks where your kids can learn to skate, an indoor water park for those long winter days, and a rock climbing wall that is going to be sure to wear them out so they actually go to bed on time. Your kids will be in the Jefferson County Schools, which has a rating of an A-, but don't let that fool you. This district is massive and offers incredible variety. If your teenager wants to study automotive technology, or your middle school is obsessed with, like, let's say marine biology, there is probably a program for it. Now, the Old Town area is where you're going to spend a lot of your free time. They've actually closed some of the streets to cars, so it's actually pleasant to walk around with your kids. There are plenty of festivals throughout the year, and the local restaurants are the kind of place where you become a regular. Arvada earned the bicycle-friendly community designation. That is a mouthful, and you'll understand why when you see this 7-mile bike loop that connects parks and schools, which means that your kids can safely ride their bike to a friend's house, and you might find yourself biking to work if you're lucky enough to work nearby. The commute to downtown is 20 to 30 minutes by car, and the G-Line rail gives you direct shot right to Union Station. Now, home prices average around $642,000, so it's a bit more expensive than Littleton, but many families think the amenities are worth it. Now let's move on to the overachiever, which is Centennial. And if you want the absolute best schools and you're willing to pay for them, Centennial is your answer. You'll be in the Cherry Creek School District, which is A-rated and serves over 52,000 students across 70 schools. Now, this is a place you go when your kids are already talking about college in elementary school. The high school programs are incredibly competitive, with advanced placement courses and extracurricular activities that look great on a college application. Now, Centennial consistently ranks high for safety, which means that your kids have more independence as they get older. The community is 15 miles south of Denver, so you're actually going to be close enough for weekend adventures, but far enough away to feel suburban. Now, your commute will be about 30 to 40 minutes to get to downtown, and your home price is going to average about $650,000. Now, you're going to pay slightly higher property tax, but you're investing in some of the best education opportunities in the state. The community tends to attract families who are very involved in their kids' activities, so expect busy school schedules filled with travel sports teams, academic competitions, and volunteer opportunities. Now let's talk about Lakewood. Now, Lakewood might be the best value in this entire list. At an average of $550,000 for a home, you're getting Jefferson County schools and only a 20 to 25 minute commute to get to downtown. This is a more established community, which means mature neighborhoods and lots of character. You're going to find mid-century homes, large yards, tree-lined streets, and neighbors who've been there for decades and can tell you the history of every single house on the block. And your kids are going to have access to the same Jefferson County school programs as Arvada families do, but you're going to pay significantly less for housing. This makes Lakewood perfect for families who want space and good schools without stretching their budget to the breaking point. Lakewood feels a lot more laid back than some of the newer suburbs. People aren't in as much of a hurry, and there's less pressure to keep up with the latest trends. Your kids can just be kids without feeling like they need to be pulled in 5 different directions. Now, if you're looking for the most affordable option that still gives you good schools and suburban amenities, Thornton is worth serious consideration. At an average of $500,000 for a home, you're saving $100,000 or more compared to other options on this list. And you'll be in Adams 12 5-star schools, which gets a B+ rating. These schools are working hard to provide well-rounded education, strong offerings in art, theater, sports, and career preparation. Your kids will get a solid foundation without the intense pressure that you might find at an A-rated district. Thornton is north of Denver with a 25 to 30 minute commute to downtown, and many of the neighborhoods feature newer construction, which means modern floor plans, energy efficient systems, and fewer surprise repair bills. Now, the community is growing rapidly, which means newer amenities are consistently being added. Now, you might not have the established character of older suburbs, but you're going to be part of building a new community from the ground up. Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great, but what about the stuff nobody talks about? Well, let me tell you about the hidden cost and practical realities that can make or break your suburban experience. And Westminster is that sweet spot where it's established enough to have good amenities, but still growing enough that you might see your home value appreciate nicely. Home prices range from $550,000 all the way up to $650,000, depending on your specific neighborhood. You'll be in Adams 12 5-star school territory, and your commute to downtown Denver is only going to be 25 to 35 minutes. The community is investing heavily in new amenities and infrastructure, so you're getting in before prices take off. And this is great for families who want to be part of a community that's actually improving. New parks are being built, shopping centers are being updated, and there's a general sense of optimism about the future. Now let's hop on over and talk about King Carroll, because it's for families who want the full luxury suburban experience and have the budget for it. We're talking at $700,000 plus for homes, but you get a master planned community with amenities that feel like a resort. The trail system is extensive and well maintained, and there are golf courses, tennis courts, and community centers that host events throughout the year. Your kids will grow up in a community where safety and quality are never a question. Now, you're still in Jefferson County schools, so you already know the educational quality is going to be high. And it's only about a 30 to 40 minute commute to downtown Denver. This is perfect for families who want every amenity and don't mind paying a premium price to have a premium experience. Now let's kick back and talk about what your daily routine might actually look like, because this is where the rubber meets the road. Now your morning commute during rush hour, that's between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m., is going to take longer than what the heck Google Maps is going to tell you. I-25 and I-70 are synonymous for turning into parking lots when there's construction or weather conditions. And if you're driving to downtown Denver, you need to add an extra 15 to 20 minutes to whatever you've heard. But here's where the RTD light rail system becomes your friend. The trains run on a strict schedule regardless of traffic, and you can read a book, work, or just relax instead of gripping the steering wheel in traffic. Plus, downtown parking can cost you $15 to $25 per day, while a monthly RTD pass is right around $115. Okay, it's time to talk about money, because this is where families sometimes get surprised after they move. Your mortgage payment is just the beginning. Property taxes in these suburbs typically range from $3,000 to $6,000 for your typical $600,000 home, depending on the specific location. Now, one of the things you probably never heard of is the Metro District taxes. Well, they're common in newer developments, especially in Thornton and Westminster. They can add up to $300 a month to your property tax bill. Now, they're supposed to go to pay for infrastructure like roads and parks, but they can last up to 20 to 30 years. And of course, HOA fees are going to vary wildly. Older neighborhoods in Arvada and Littleton might have low fees or absolutely none at all, where planned communities like King Carroll can charge up to $500 per month for amenities like the pool, golf course, and of course, the maintained landscaping. Now here's my advice, whether you ask for it or not. When you're looking at homes, ask specifically about all the ongoing costs. A house that seems like it's a great deal might have a high HOA fee or a Metro tax district, and it's gonna make it more expensive than the more expensive home with the lower ongoing costs. Now let me help you figure out which one of these suburbs might be the best fit for your specific family situation. If you have young kids and schools are your top priority, I'd lean towards Littleton and Centennial. Both have excellent elementary programs, and you're going to be surrounded by other families who are interested in education. Now for families with teenagers, the Cherry Creek District areas like Centennial really start to shine. The high school programs are outstanding with advanced placement courses, college prep support, and a bunch of extracurricular activities that can make a real difference in your college application. And if budget is your main concern, take a serious look at Thornton and Lakewood. You're going to get good schools, suburban amenities without stretching your finances. Now this leaves you money for family vacations, college savings, and those unexpected expenses that always seem to come up. Now for families where commuting is a major factor, Arvada and Lakewood offer your best combination of light rail access and reasonable drive times, which at the end of the day means you get to spend more time with your family. And of course, if you want the luxury experience and you have the budget for it, King Carroll delivers premium amenities with a gated community feel. Your kids are going to grow up across from the golf courses, have access to extensive trail systems, and community events that feel like a private club experience. Now, if you're looking at relocating to Denver, the best thing you can do is shoot me a call or text at 720-741-7474. And let's make sure the area you're looking at fits both your professional and personal lifestyle. Now I know all of these local markets understand the school districts and can help you navigate the current market conditions. If you want to be out of the city altogether, go check out this video I did right here where I do a deep dive in the northern Colorado towns that are getting all of the attention. Remember, stay adventurous, my friends. I'll see you in the next video.